It is the final game of a 4-game set between the Yankees and the Twins. The Yankees are going for 5 straight wins, and they're welcoming back Nestor Cortes Jr. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night. Tonight's game is brought to you by Manscaped, the world leader in male grooming products. Visit manscaped.com and use the code NYY Recaps at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. They've got everything from razors to body sprays to boxer shorts, and it's all great, and I vouch for them 100%. Visit manscaped.com, use the code NYY Recaps, 20% off and free shipping. Tough night for the umpires. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Happy birthday to Garrett Cole. I wish he could have celebrated with a victory. Tough night for the Yankees. As I mentioned, tough night for the umpires. We got screwed out of some calls there tonight. The offense continues to struggle as more and more of our guys are hitting the injured list. In case you missed the game, DJ LeMahieu was placed on the IL with the hope that some rest will allow his toe to get back to normal. Rizzo also on the IL. Stanton was out of the lineup tonight. He did make an appearance, but he's been struggling. So we have to go with what we have. And it's not a fun offense to watch right now. But I do have to give some congratulations to Anthony Volpe. He hit his first 2 home runs in AAA tonight against the Durham Bulls. Kid's unreal. After I finish the recap on Saturday of the Rays game, I'm going to head over to the Durham Bulls ballpark and watch our AAA team play. I'm pretty psyched that Anthony Volpe could play, but I kind of wish they would call him up. He's hitting .440 since his promotion to AAA. A lot of guys only have a short stop at AAA before they get called up. Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, both played like 20 games. Some guys go straight from AA. That's really where the best pitching prospects are. AAA is more, guys who are replacement level type players. We'll take a look at his 2 home runs tonight. This one was to the opposite field, inside, outed it about 10 rows deep to right center, an absolute bomb. And then the second home run of the night, this is a fastball in the outer part of the plate, and he just barrels it up, stays low, drills it out over the PNC sign in left center. So 2 home runs on the night for Anthony Volpe. At a time when the Yankees could use some offense, he really could be one of their better options. I mean, not just hitting well, but the guy's got 40 stolen bases. 40 plus. Be nice to have that combination of power and speed down the stretch. Anyway, Nestor Cortes was back off the injured list from the most phantom groin injury of all time. The rest seems to have done him well. He was working quickly, his stuff was crisp, and he was pounding the zone. 4 perfect innings tonight before he ran out of gas. Hadn't pitched in 18 days. The Yankees were flashing the leather early. Gleyber Torres made another really nice play on the first batter of the game. Second straight day that he's made a good play on defense. Bottom 2, Yankees struck first. Miguel Andujar with a 2-run shot off of Yankees legend Sonny Gray, his first home run of the season. Good sign for him. It was a tough pitch to hit. It was inside. It was a 4-seam fastball. 4-seam fastballs don't typically run, but it had some slight run, and he was able to get the barrel to it. So he also smoked a base hit up the middle. Kind of got knocked down. It was an infield hit, but he hit the ball hard twice. So if he can get hot over these next couple of weeks, it would be a huge asset to the Yankees. I'm convinced he can still be dangerous if he can get hot. Twins tied it up with 3 hits in the bottom of the 5th. Cortez was done after 4+. Final line for him: 2 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts on the night. Clark Schmidt pitched 3 scoreless frames tonight, and Wandy Peralta came in, and he allowed a runner that should have been an out, but the play was botched. The Yankees thought that the play should be overturned on replay, but turns out, as thanks to Jack Curry, we got the clarification on this. You're not allowed to pin the ball to your body. You have to have it in control of your hand or glove. And the ball was kind of pinned up against Wandy Peralta's body. So Greg Weissert comes in to face Carlos Correa with a runner on, and Correa burned him. 2-run shot to make it 4-2 Twins. That was the loudest that I've heard the stadium boo in a while. They do not like Carlos Correa. Yankees got a run on a wild pitch in the bottom of the 8th. Good old Gary Sanchez couldn't knock it down. But Giancarlo Stanton pinch hit with the tying run on base and struck out and looked horrible doing it. Now hitting .213 on the season. Obviously, he's a timing guy. Hasn't been able to get his timing going with the combination of time off and injuries, but we really need him to get going. I don't know what he's got to do. If he's got to spend some extra time in the cage, take a couple extra rounds of BP, got to get you going, Giancarlo. You're too big a part of this team. Peraza picked up a 1-out single in the bottom of the 9th. Hicks followed up with a double. That took the bat out of Aaron Judge's hands. Somehow Hicks continues to screw us even when he gets hits. Gleyber Torres struck out. He kind of got hosed by a couple of pitches by the umpire. Should have walked on 4 pitches, but there was a pitch high that was called for a strike. That was definitely a ball. And then the 2-1 was a ball, and that was called a strike as well. With robo umps, would have tied the game. And Torres ends up striking out on a pitch out of the zone. IKF bounced out to second, and that ended the game.
That is one big pile of shit.
All right, let's go ahead and get your comments here. Obviously, a tough night. I don't even know if I really want to take a look at the box score. I suppose we could pull it up in a couple of minutes, but it was not a good game for the Yankees. Yankees should have won this game. They got 10 hits on the night. Pete Mancuso, says Stanton is too stiff to hit. He does look like he's kind of stiff up there. We got a Super Dono here from Stone Cold. Says, haven't been seeing the game, just NYY Recaps. Appreciate that. Edward Lee says, how do you strike out with a 4-1 count? I mean, umpire screwed him there. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He actually had a good at-bat. He went out of the zone, but I don't blame him when close pitches are being called strikes. Douglas Rouse has put Stanton on the IL and call up Volpe. I would love to see Volpe come up. The man has been swinging the bat very, very well since coming to AAA. He's obviously confident. We saw that Peraza's able to handle the major leagues. He's swinging the bat, pretty well. He's hitting .278 with a .770 OPS in limited playing time. But Volpe is considered even a better hitter than Peraza. More power to right field, which will benefit him at Yankee Stadium. Probably a big reason they drafted him. But I don't know if Giancarlo needs to go on the IL. The foot bruise seems to be healing enough for him to play. He just needs to get his timing back. Bernie says, why did he take out Wandy with 2 outs? That was a question that I was asking too. I get that Weissert has been pitching pretty well, but I don't really trust him against Carlos Correa. He's got a good slider, yes. But, this guy was a AAA pitcher. And you're going to put him in there against one of the better hitters in the American League in a key spot? I don't know. I suppose you got to test him out sometime, and this was as good a time as any to do it. But that was one of the moves that I was questioning in real time. So, kudos to you. Raleigh says, thoughts on why IKF is not batting leadoff with both Benny and DJ down? Couple of reasons. One, he doesn't have a high enough on-base percentage. He swings at the first pitch an awful lot. He doesn't take pitches. Second reason is the Yankees do like to have a little bit of a power threat at the top of the lineup, especially if you're hitting in front of Aaron Judge. You know, you're going to get pitches to hit. Be nice if you could hit those balls out of the ballpark, but also somebody who is selective so that he can reach base and be a potential RBI for Aaron Judge. Joey says the umps won the game for the Twins. Unfortunately, you're probably correct. I've been saying it for a while. We need robo umps. It's a necessity at this point. All right, let's take a look at the box score. Wandy Peralta gets the loss, unfortunately. As you see, the Yankees got 10 hits tonight, so they did swing the bats a little bit. Hicks was 1 for 5 with the big double in the bottom of the ninth. Aaron Judge, 2 for 4. He continues to hit over 300. Gleyber Torres, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. His average has fallen to 237. I would love to know in the comments and in the chat, and we can talk about this a little bit. Also, we never got to Quentin Tarantino yesterday, so be sure to throw out your Quentin Tarantino comments. Favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. We'll kill some time with that tonight. But I want to know if you think Gleyber Torres is going to be back. With all of these infield prospects that the Yankees have coming up, some combination of Volpe, Peraza, Cabrera, IKF, not really a prospect, obviously, but an under control young player. And then you still got DJ under contract. I think some combination of that is enough to force Gleyber Torres off the roster next year. He had a good first half, but I would not be opposed to moving him in the winter, especially if you can use him to replenish the system, even with some mid-level prospects at areas that you need. You know, maybe like a decent first base backup. You know, a decent outfield backup. Not every player you get needs to be a superstar. You got to have role players. Gleyber Torres is somebody I think you could probably get a couple of decent role players for. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 2 for 5 tonight. I never thought I would see the day that Kiner-Falefa was hitting in the cleanup spot. Unbelievable. Gonzalez, 1 for 4. I'm tired of watching him hit. 201 average on the season, 620 OPS. And Duhar, 2 hits tonight, the big 2-run home run. Parkson says, bye-bye Gleyber, let him join Gary. And Laura V says, if Cashman and Boone are there next year, Gleyber will be back. Florial, 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Stanton, obviously, the strikeout in his pinch hit appearance. Higashioka, 1 for 3, hitting 193. All the power for Higashioka seems to have disappeared. A couple years ago, he was dangerous. Not so much anymore. Higashioka is another one of those guys that I think could be gone. Ben Rortvedt had a couple of hits tonight in AAA. He's swinging the bat pretty well down there the last few days. Peraza, 1 for 3, hitting 278, as we mentioned. Take a look at the pitching. Cortez, solid. Ran out of gas. 4 perfect innings, though. That's encouraging. Schmidt, 3 scoreless frames. 2.82 ERA on the season. Peralta, unfair loss with no earned runs allowed. Weissert served up the home run. And Weber comes in and gives up a couple of hits, but gets out of it. Just a 1.04 ERA on the season for him. Dr. Hitskins says, dusk till dawn, snake dance. Oh, yeah. With what was that lady's name who was in that? I forget her name. She was amazing, the snake dance. And then Death Proof, Kurt Russell, where he plays a stuntman who's also a psycho, and he gives people rides and then crashes the car on purpose. Nobody does it like Quentin Tarantino. I mean, he's amazing. Nicholas Velasquez thinks that Gleyber Torres' trade value has fallen. It's 100% fallen. I mean, you're 100% right on that. But that doesn't necessarily mean they won't trade him. The Yankees tend to hold on to guys until their value kind of runs away. Wayne J says Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Inglourious Bastards, both Kill Bills, and Jackie Brown. Well, list his whole catalog, why don't you? Pulp Fiction's my favorite of those. I like the non-linear storyline. I still remember my mom watched Pulp Fiction before I did. I was 11 years old, and it was getting a ton of hype. It had won the best film at Cannes, and it was nominated for some Oscars. And I asked her, I said, hey, how was that Pulp Fiction movie? She said, it was so weird. It didn't make sense. The main guy, for 1 minute, he was dead in the shower, and the next minute, he's alive again. And it was a non-linear storyline, and my mom didn't like that. But I love those types of movies. Reservoir Dogs, I think, is one of the greatest all-time films. Inglourious Bastards, I can't get next to as much. I don't know why. I get the interesting twist of, changing history at the end there. But I don't know. That movie just doesn't do it for me. Kill Bill, I love both of those movies. And Jackie Brown, I just watched that recently. Fantastic film. Douglas Rao, I want to read the book for Jackie Brown. He based that on a book. Glaber has 2 years of team control left. Even if Aaron Judge re-signs, Andrew Benintendi is a free agent to be, and Hicks is Hicks. We need an outfield bat. I 100% agree that we should definitely try and get at least one outfielder. Florial isn't cutting it as a backup. I get he's got some nice defensive bona fides, regardless of letting one drop in off of Gary Sanchez yesterday. I'm not going to hold that against him. That was a tough play. Gary takes a big swing, and it just kind of... Salma Hayek, that's who we were talking about. Gary takes a big swing, and, he hit it off the end of the bat. I'm not going to blame Florial for that too much. He's made some nice plays in there. But the guy doesn't impress me that much offensively. I think we should definitely try and get a decent outfielder. I wish the Yankees had gotten Brantley. I know he's hurt right now, or at least he was for a while. I thought he would have been a good fit. And he's somebody that, can play a couple of positions, corner outfield positions, make contact, left-handed hitter. I thought he would have been a good addition. D. Ron says, go get the Gimp. I love it. Berger says, if it counts, True Romance. Yes, written by Quentin Tarantino. He based the main character in that on himself. Django Unchained, that's one of my favorites. I love Django Unchained. That's his most successful movie. Pasha says, I'm the foot effing master. I'm glad that we have something to talk about when the Yankees play like this, and we can just kill a little bit of time. Christian says, we need to ban these umps. We need to go to robo-umps, 100%. Look at the big brain on Brad. I love the quotes, man. I love the quotes. Douglas Rao says, Twins have Lin-Manuel Miranda's first cousin and a couple of guys named Hamilton on their team. No wonder they won on Broadway tonight. Always dropping knowledge on us, Douglas.
Excellent.
Parkinson says, robo-umps, are they coming? Well, probably not next year. Apparently there's going to be some votes on the changes to Major League Baseball for next season. I think they said tomorrow. I read this. I want to say it was Buster Olney tweeted it. It might have been Jeff Passan. But that was not among the changes. So we're going to get bigger bases. We're going to get 18-inch bases. We're going to get the pitch clock. I believe it's 20 seconds with runners on and 15 seconds with nobody on. And then you've got two infielders have to have their feet on the dirt part of the infield on both sides of second base when every pitch is thrown. So you got to have two men on either side of second, and they can't play in the outfield grass. So that should create more hits, more offense. Law of Divine Oneness says the Hateful Eight was pretty good. That's the other one I didn't love. It was kind of long. I felt like it dragged to me. Veritas says, why was Hicks leading off? Excellent question. Salma Hayek. I like how we're just repeating the name Salma Hayek in the chat over and over again. Yeah, that Dusk Till Dawn scene, if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie. So Quentin Tarantino is actually in that movie, but I think he co-wrote it with Richard Rodriguez. And he and George Clooney are just a couple of thieves, bank robbers maybe. And they're on the run, and they stop at this bar that's on the border. And I believe the bar might even be called From Dusk Till Dawn, something like that. And turns out the bar is full of vampires, and Salma Hayek is one of them, and she does this like erotic snake dance, and it was like the greatest moment of my childhood. But Harrison Bader, haven't heard much about him lately. I think he's starting to ramp up. Apparently he was shagging flies today in the outfield, but hasn't made a lot of progress. Roberto says, frustrating stop and go feel to the Yankees right now. Appreciate the dono, my friend. You're not wrong. Look, we have to take solace in the fact that we won 4 straight, but with the Rays coming into town, they just thumped us pretty good in Tampa, and the Yankees dropping a lot of guys from their lineup onto the IL. DJ, Rizzo, Stanton is worthless right now. It's tough to be optimistic. You just got to hope that you run into some balls this weekend. I don't think they're going to pitch to Aaron Judge at all. I wouldn't. Alex says Oswaldo for left field. Interesting. Maybe when Bader comes back, you put Bader in center field, you put Judge in right field, and you put Oswaldo in left field. Possibly. I think Oswaldo's done a great job in right field, but it'll be interesting to see how the Yankees configure that because he's definitely a good outfielder. I haven't seen him play left field yet, though. D-Rod says at least Gary gave us back a run. Rob John says Peraza looks like the only prospect that can hit. I'm still not sold that that Oswaldo Cabrera can't hit. He's got a compact swing, and he has good at-bats. I think he will hit. He hasn't hit a ton yet, but I think he will. That piece of hitting he had yesterday in the walk-off, that opposite field single, if he can do that more, he'll be all right. And as we just mentioned, the shift going away next year, that should allow more balls to go through in general. You're going to see just a lot more base hits from everybody, not just the prospects. So looking forward to it. And Veritas says, of course, Gary Sanchez gets 3 hits. Got to hand it to him. He's come back and burned us in this series. 473-foot home run and then, 3 hits tonight. Hateful Eight says, name another one of those movies where not a living thing in it survives. Reservoir Dogs. I don't think anybody survives Reservoir Dogs, right? Or does Steve Buscemi escape with the diamonds? I can't remember. Spoilers for a 30-year-old movie. All right, guys, I'm glad we finally got to Tarantino. Sorry that we didn't have a win to discuss tonight, but hopefully we'll break out the fun hat a little bit this weekend. Again, Saturday evening, I'm going to check out the Durham Bulls versus the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, so I'll try and get some good footage of whoever's down there. Hopefully Volpe's up. I would love to see him, but if he gets called up, I'd be happy. I'll see you next time.